Dear listeners, I have so much to tell you, and I often don't know where to start. It seems the world doesn't want to admit that sometimes we make mistakes and that sometimes the wrong person gets punished for something they didn't do. Not all of us have been personally affected, but many of us have been impacted by this reality. And I feel like it's my responsibility to share these stories with you and to tell you what I've learned about wrongful convictions. Welcome back to Wrongfully Yours. Today, we're closing out a truly remarkable story with someone who has lived through one of the most unjust and unimaginable experiences and who has come out on the other side with clarity, strength, and purpose. Eric Anderson is back with us for part 3 of his story. When we left off, Eric had just received the life-changing news that he was finally going home after nearly a decade of wrongful incarceration. In today's conversation, he walks us through those final surreal hours before release, the first moments of freedom, and the emotional roller coaster of reentry into a world that had moved on without him. But this isn't just a story about survival. It's a story about leadership, advocacy, and building something for those coming behind you. Eric tells us how he co-founded the organization of exonerees, how he's working with lawmakers and police cadets, and why, despite everything, he refuses to walk away from a system that so deeply failed him. And so today, this is a conversation about radical resilience, turning pain into power, and what it means to fight for others when no one fought for you. So, welcome back again, Eric, and thank you so much for joining me. And last time we left off, just when you got the news that you were coming home, and I find it kind of ironic that the last time you got news from the court, it was the news that you were getting convicted and you couldn't believe it. And now you're getting news that you're going home and you can't believe it. So, how does this process play out for you? How do you adjust to the fact that you're going home and you said that you had like 4 hours to get used to the news before you actually were released?
Yeah. I mean, I had to adjust. I knew it was time to go. I knew that story, that chapter of my story was over with. I went back to my housing unit, tried to cut my hair. I got halfway through my head, and the officer said, "Hey, you gotta go." He gave me a trash bag and said, "They want you up front right now."
Oh my.
So it wasn't even no time. It was like, man, get up out of here.
Wow.
So, and
So
then,
they were in a rush to get you out now all of a
yeah,
sudden
yeah,
because it's
because,
like, "Oh, you shouldn't be here and you shouldn't have been here all
right,
along, so get out."
yeah, because if something happened to me, they would have been held accountable.
Wow.
So
And
yeah,
what
so
was it like to go home? I mean, because you'd been in for what, almost 10 years?
yeah, 9 years. It was
Yeah,
nine.
so
Years, it was 9 years
world
and days.
the world has changed a lot, I'm guessing, from the time
A
you
little,
went
a
in to
little
when you
bit,
came home?
a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
gonna say a whole hell of a lot. Um,
was Coney Island still there?
yeah, county. Yeah, we got a lot of county islands in the
Oh,
city.
okay.
So when I walked out the door, I was met by my attorney and a student attorney from the University of Michigan. I got one of the best attorneys in the nation, Megan Richardson,
Oh, yes.
who I greatly appreciate so much. Um,
Let's just give a big shout out to Megan Richardson
yeah,
because she does excellent work. I've met her at the Innocence Conference, and yeah, she's fantastic.
yeah, she my superhero, and she knows it too. In my
She never lets it go to her head,
no,
which makes her an even bigger superhero.
no, and there's three of us. She got me, and she got two guys from Chicago.
Amazing.
Yeah, so she's doing a great job. So when I got out, my first meal was Qdoba. Do you guys have Qdoba in Canada?
We probably do, but I have no idea what that
Yeah.
is.
Okay. Do you know what Chipotle is?
Yes.
Qdoba is Chipotle little sister.
Oh, okay.
They both got the same stuff, the
Gotcha.
same type of method. So that's what I had. But moving along, since I've been out, I've been advocating for the wrongfully convicted here in the state of Michigan and as well as all across the world. It's very important that me and my other brothers and sisters stay as connected to the fight as possible. We try to be that in which we didn't have when we was in there,
Yes.
and we
So
try
you
to
didn't
set the
have a lot of resources when you
Mm,
were on the inside?
I mean, family support, yeah, but I'm talking about as far as somebody that been through what we been
Right,
through. Yeah, we didn't have that. There was nobody to come reach out. Like, it was no support system for that.
right.
It was
And
just
so
like,
when you
hey,
got out, you found others who had
yep,
also been wrongfully convicted?
yep,
And
yep.
is that how you started the organization of
Yeah,
exonerees?
the organization was underneath started first as a support unit, support group, just to talk about our issues and find solutions to everybody's problems.
Right.
Like, everybody had their own set of issues, but it was also opportunity that, hey, this person can help me and I can help this person as well. So we grew from that.
So when you say you all had your own issues, is this issues with coming home or
Yeah, like
like
reentry
issues
issues.
PTSD from being in
Uh,
prison
uh,
or
a little bit of that, but more so just like resources.
okay,
Like, I might have known how to get my driver's
open
license, but not get a bank account,
right,
and the other person might know how to get their social security card or might know how to file for insurance.
right.
So we were just helping each other on that level. And then we blossomed into something good. We started, you know, meeting people in high places. And one of our biggest supporters early on, it was Detroit City Council member Roy McAllister. He all gave us city wrongfully convicted hero plaques by the city of Detroit, and he gave us the opportunity to speak to the
Wow.
leader of the city of Detroit. Also, state representative Stephanie Young, she's our probably our biggest supporter in the Capitol. She gives us opportunity to speak to our stories as well. So that was in the early stages, like, that was very, very impactful, and they don't even know that they made advocates. So they
Yeah.
were part of the reason why we advocates now, as well as the director of the Wayne County Conviction Integrity Unit, Valerie Newman. She made sure that we got opportunities to succeed. You know, the Wayne County CIU is responsible for maybe 37 men and women. Exonerees.
Exonerations?
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, that was that. All these people helped us in the beginning stages to where we are today.
And so
Uh,
where are you today? What
we're
does
up
the
to today.
organization do today?
So we support one another in the state of Michigan. Also, we extend ourselves to innocence projects in other states in times of need. So they need
Wow.
somebody to speak to wrongful conviction, compensation. We can speak to that. Certain states don't have compensation for their exonerees, so we can speak to that. Certain people, certain cases are being fought tooth and nail. I'm showing up in any state to advocate for my brothers and sisters.
Amazing.
What else? We talk to lawyers, we talk to judges, we talk to prosecutors, we talk to law students about wrongful convictions because that's important. Like, a wrongful conviction is so crucial that it can happen to anybody.
Yes.
Just because of misconduct, just because of negligence, just because of
Walking into a Coney Island after going to the club.
yeah, like
Right? Like, it's just so random that it's
yeah,
really a
and
lot of
the
times
fact
just
that
circumstance.
it happened to me and I just fell through the crack on each and every level is unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Very unacceptable if you ask me.
So
And I wouldn't want, huh?
how do you find the strength to advocate the way that you do after having been failed as many times as you were? Like, I would think I would come home and I'd be like, I don't want to have anything to do with this system ever again. Like, I'm going to go be a hermit and I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not doing anything. Like, what drives you to keep reliving your past trauma?
So somebody got to do it.
Wow.
Somebody got to do it. It's not only me though. So don't give me
Sure.
all the credit because I don't want all the credit. Like we have, it's maybe like five of us here in the state of Michigan that at any given time can do all the stuff that in which we speaking of, right? But I can probably speak for everybody. Somebody got to do it because we don't do it, then who's going to educate? Who's going to teach the masses that this is happening? And
And who's going to support your brothers and sisters coming home?
exactly, like it's like reentry is important. Just not even if we're not talking about the application, we talking about the reentry part because people need help immediately when they come home. You
And
know,
I think that's so important because I think there's a general misconception that the exoneration is the end of the story, right?
no,
And that,
no,
you're let out and okay, the end. And it's like there's a whole new story being written once you come home. Is
no.
I mean, I can't speak for you. I haven't been through this, but this is my understanding that it's a whole new
Yeah.
story that's being written
Oh,
now.
that's what you would think, but that's when the fight begins. Actually, like
Wow.
my fight began when I came out. Like I don't think about prison. Like prison stuff is not even in my mind. Like I don't have no fight in prison. Like prison is over with.
Right.
Now I gotta now I gotta live out here knowing that what happened to me can happen to somebody else. Now I gotta live out here knowing that it's many people in there that's fighting a wrongful conviction that don't have the help in which they need. That's my
Wow.
fight. My fight is knowing that people don't know about wrongful convictions. My fight is knowing that we have prosecutors that say and think that it's no wrongful convictions in their county. It's a wrongful
Yes.
conviction everywhere. All you gotta do is look them up.
Yep.
Since
And that
1989, it's like 3,600 people been wrongfully convicted and exonerated
yes. Yeah, that we know of,
that we know
right?
of.
Because we can only count the ones who have actually been exonerated.
Yeah,
Guarantee you there's a ton more who are still serving, who are still trying to come home.
yeah. So with
And
that being said, that's why we advocate. And also another thing in which four of us do, we, as you know, we talk to the police cadets in the state of Illinois. It's state law in the state of Illinois that they gotta receive some type of wrongful conviction training while they're in the academy.
which is
So,
so important.
yep, so I'm one of the people that go around the state of Illinois and tell them about wrongful convictions and tell them what can happen when they do nefarious things.
And I had Mark Beach on as a prior guest on the podcast, and he was talking about his program, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And how do you get drawn into doing something like that? Because I mean, your experience with the police was not exactly awesome, right? And so now you're going into a room with 100 or more police officers, and does that not frighten you to walk in there, or do you feel like this is part of the fight and you're there to fight the good fight and spread the word?
Yeah, so no, no, it doesn't fear me just because, like you said, it's part of the fight. Like they need to know, or there's gonna be another me.
Right.
They
Yeah.
need to know that this type of thing exists. It can happen to anybody. It could, like I say, I was minding my business. I was getting some food after having a good night out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just coincidentally, that made me believe in coincidences.
Those are not good coincidences. You don't want those happening.
No, not at all.
But I really really appreciate having the chance to have these conversations with you because I think it's so important, and I'm just really taken by your strength, and I'm really in awe that you're able to leave the prison experience behind because like you said it's done and you're on to the next fight, which is arguably a bigger fight and a more meaningful fight, and hopefully we do see change and that people do open their eyes to the fact that these kinds of things happen.
I'm thankful I got the opportunity to do so. Just
Yeah,
somebody got.
exactly. Exactly. And hey, why not you, right? So, but yeah, so where are you today? Who is Eric Anderson today?
Hey, you gonna put me on the spot?
Because
Eric
I know you
Anderson.
have a sassy little daughter.
Yeah, she crazy. Um, Eric Anderson is a man that's striving for peace, that wants to make an impact on our world, and to make sure that nobody is harmed in the process of progression.
Amazing.
So that's
Wow.
all I try to do.
That's that's fantastic. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to have these conversations with me because I think it is so important and it does make a difference. And, I hope that together we're helping to educate people about the reality of wrongful convictions and just how bananas this
Hmm.
world can be because, I'm still playing back our conversations through my mind and trying to make sense of how things happened and why they happened to you. And, I think it's just very telling of what happens in a lot of cases that we can't make sense of it.
Yeah, we can't, not at all. For the viewers, you can follow the organization exonerees on Instagram or Facebook.
Amazing.
And, so you guys, if you're interested, you can stay in tune with what we got going on here in the state of Michigan.
I don't think that I will ever forget this conversation. Hearing Eric talk about his first day of freedom, his hair half cut, his belongings in a trash bag, racing out of prison with only 4 hours' notice. It is truly sobering. But what Eric has done since that day truly stays with me. Rather than turn his back on the system that betrayed him, he's chosen to confront it, to educate, to advocate, to create a network of support for other exonerees, and to stand in the gap for those still fighting for their freedom. Eric reminds us that exoneration isn't the end of the story. It's the start of a whole new fight. And as he says so powerfully, somebody's got to do it. Thank you, Eric, for your honesty, your strength, and your continued work. And thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about the work that Eric is doing, you can follow the Organization of Exonerees on social media, and I have placed a link to their website on our bio site. And while today's letter may have piqued your interest, this is only part of the story. There's still so much more to tell. The effects of wrongful convictions are far reaching. They touch us all. I'll write to you again soon as I continue my conversations with those whose lives have been impacted by a wrongful conviction. But until then, I remain wrongfully yours. And so, if you were moved by this episode, please consider sharing it with others, liking and reviewing us, and following the podcast on your favorite platform so you don't miss what comes next. And as always, thanks for listening to Wrongfully Yours, where we believe that telling these stories is the first step towards preventing the next injustice. And until next time, stay curious, stay hopeful, and keep fighting for justice. If you have something that you want to talk about with me, or even if you want to just send me some words of encouragement, you can drop me a line at wrongfullyyourspodcast@gmail.com. You can also check out my website, kellylozon.ca, for more information about me and the kinds of things that I do.